Well, these are statements made by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to NDTV, and they constitute a big international headline because the focus of the world, certainly in West Asia, other parts also, is on what happens to Gaza next at a time when there have been so many reports of a real crisis over there, whether it's a humanitarian crisis on the ground or a lack of clarity on what exactly takes place next. Responding to a specific question of mine in a meeting which I had with the Israeli Prime Minister, along with a few others, Benjamin Netanyahu has said that Israel will not annex Gaza. However, there will be a security perimeter which Israel will set up in Gaza. Now, where exactly the perimeter lies, whether it is inside Gaza or whether it is on the boundaries of Gaza itself, is presently unclear. But Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, telling NDTV that he's absolutely certain that Hamas will be destroyed. We will get our hostages back. Gaza will be handed over to a transitional body. That's very, very significant because in terms of the next steps forward, for the first time, the Israeli Prime Minister telling NDTV that there will be a transitional body which will be formed, which will look into the future of Gaza. The war can be over tomorrow if Hamas lays down its arms immediately. Innocents must be separated from Hamas. Some other details that we were able to actually pick up onto a specific point on whether there would be significant civilian casualties if there was an expansion of Israeli operations in Gaza. We have learned that the Israeli belief is that no, that will not take place. However, any transitional body must not include Hamas in it. So these are very, very significant remarks made by Benjamin Netanyahu to NDTV in a very specific question that we asked him. But I should also mention that there is clarity now on based on questions which were asked to Benjamin Netanyahu on the entire tariff issue. Remember, the US has imposed 50% tariffs on India. So he says that Modi and Trump are terrific friends and have so much common ground. A way can be found. He did speak also about the use of Israeli weapons or Israeli designed weapons during Operation Sindoor, and he said that Israeli equipment given before worked very well and that these are all battle tested. He also spoke about the potential of the India-Middle East Economic Corridor. That is a corridor which stretches from Mumbai to the Middle East, possibly Saudi Arabia, through a rail link, ultimately to the Haifa port in Israel. Now, that's in the future. There's a war which has been taking place. So once that is realized and it becomes operational, that has tremendous promise. And that's something which Netanyahu also spoke about. And he does want to visit India. He's spoken about his close relationship with Prime Minister Modi.
You know, Vishnu, as far as civilian safety is concerned, there has already been a significant loss of life. Over 60,000 Gazans have already lost their lives. How does Israel plan to minimize civilian casualties and any sort of damage in the future, in future operations in Gaza, in that sense?
Well, that really is a key point, and that is specifically what I asked Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about whether there would be a significant human toll, a loss of life, if Israel did expand their operations. While we can confirm that these operations will be expanded towards the goal which I have now spelled out, he did tell me that they expected minimum civilian casualties at this juncture. He also went into a great deal of detail on how Israeli officials have also in the past got into a great deal of detail on how the reports on the denial of food to residents of Gaza was part of a Hamas strategy, that Hamas was working towards controlling the distribution networks of the food which was actually being supplied. It was pointed out that airdrops were taking place to ensure that starvation wasn't an issue. Be that as it may, you're quite right in having pointed out, and I don't think there's anybody who denies this, that the loss of life, innocent people in Gaza has been massive. The humanitarian toll over there has been massive. That remains a huge international concern and will remain that until there is more clarity once the war comes to an end.